told you we were going to have an amazing intro. So we're going to do, how do we call it? A cold open, because we want to make sure
the Nikolai cold open.
The Nikolai, this is like going to the way back machine. The way back machine. Looks like we're just getting live on the Dean Blundell Network. And as soon as I can see things happen, we're going to load this mother, and it's going to be something. Good to see you, Ted. Mm-hmm. We took the long way to get here.
We did. So there's some major technical issues because I am not a technical person when it comes to hardware.
It was just one of those. It's just one of those days when you don't want to wake up. Who would have thought Limp Bizkit knew what was going on?
Good pull. Good old school reference.
I know. I'm good at this.
Next, you'll be quoting some Korn or something.
Yeah. Freak on a leash. Okay. I think we're ready for it, folks. Big thanks to our buddy Glenn, and I will make sure we give him all the props. This is definitely not my work. I just wrote the script. Here we go. I'm wearing my shirt. Got my shirt on. Little camo stormtrooper. Here we go.
Camo.
Wow.
That's great.
Wow.
You did a great job on that. That's awesome. I feel like it's a new hope.
I think after this game, I thought it was all over. I thought maybe it was an attack of the clones, but it was a new hope. Welcome to the PP1 Podcast. Clearly, you saw in the intro. We'd like to welcome you from wherever you're watching or listening. We are on the Dean Blundell Network across his wide array of social networks. It's pretty great. Thanks for allowing us to do that, Dean. We are partnered with our good friends at Move Health and Wellness, and we'll get to them a little bit later. Make sure if you guys want to comment along and tell us how awesome that video was, go on Facebook, go on our Facebook, PP1 Podcast, on our YouTube page of the PP1 Podcast. We still don't get tweets or replies and stuff on Twitter, so YouTube and Facebook are definitely the place to be. Ted, as I said, it took some time to get here, but we got here. We had a late start because apparently TNT decides when the Canucks are going to play the second game. So we are doing this at 10:30 at night, which is past both of our bedtimes.
It's late.
It's a little late. You had some technical problems, which, of course, when we push everything, when all the chips are in, of course, somebody loses the cards, right?
That's the way it works.
Yeah, that's something like that. So, as I said, we are on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and hopefully your headphones and in front of your eyes if you're watching late night. Maybe don't check out any of those other post games. Come to us because we decided to wait it out after a game that was basically over. I was at the rink. It was 5-0 before the game even started against the Islanders. They made it interesting. It was 5-3. You watched in the third period. That game, the second period was bonkers. And they managed to, they lost. The Canucks lost 6-3. Mm-hmm. which is okay.
But well, they said only 5 teams in NHL history, I think, have come back from a 5-0 deficit. So I mean, the odds were stacked against them, but it was an entertaining third for sure.
Yeah, it was. It had the makings of an upset for sure. Thatcher Demko comes in, makes a massive 5-alarm save to keep them in the second period, and then they just started trucking along. Typical Canucks. So this team has, I don't know, gumption.
Gumption. There you go.
They're going to be playing fluky hockey, I think. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen as we get closer to the trade deadline?
They said it right there too in the cast or in the telecast. Like John Garrett saying the Canucks need to go on some kind of a run here, right?
Yeah.
If they're going to make any headway, if there's going to be any traction,
mm-hmm.
And that's
yeah.
I mean, we saw the run this year with the Boudreau bump, and it's going to be difficult for this team to go on a run because it's not a high end team, right? I mean, they're playing 500 hockey because this is probably a 500 hockey team, right? I mean, even with Boudreau at the helm,
totally.
So, yeah, this All-Star break, I can only imagine the conversations that we're having, what's going to come out of this, because I can only think that there's going to be some major changes and some shifts going to be made for sure.
Well, as we saw with the All-Star break, if you saw in our intro video, Quinn Hughes went to the All-Star break and got COVID, as did his brother. So
because he has it, does that make him exempt now? He can just travel he's got the 180-day pass or whatever. So now he's had it. So he just makes passes now. He's good.
I think so.
That's like your golden ticket. I think if you got COVID, you test positive, you get the positive test, then you're free to go.
What a world, eh? Like, I mean, hopefully he's okay. Yeah. Hopefully he's okay. And I'm assuming, he's got to be vaccinated. He's a dude. He's one of our dudes. So, but hopefully he's okay and gets through it, because Brandon Sutter still isn't back. I mean, he's long gone. Yeah. So, I mean, who knows? You can only imagine what that's been like. And
do we have an update on Sutter? Like, what is the deal with? No, nothing. Hey,
not
spoken about him. You forget he's even on this team.
Well, every now and then, yeah, I keep thinking like, oh right, like wouldn't that be something to get him back?
Could really use a quality skating fourth line center right now, especially one that makes $1 million.
No kidding. And then Travis Hamonic apparently was practicing, so that's news.
I'm so over that.
Yeah. But I mean, as soon as he comes back, you're like, oh, right. That happened.
This is great. You know what? He looks solid. Decent defenseman. I could get used to seeing a quality NHL defenseman in this roster, because we've got guys like Burrows and we've got guys like
Brad Hunt.
Like Hunt, right? Yeah, like that's great. I'm happy to see him back.
He's not.
Shoot, we can't actually use him for a bunch of games because you got to do border crossings and stuff. So that's kind of a bummer.
It's so like
no consistency.
It's so mind blowing, and it's just one of those lasting things from Jim Benning. My goodness, but it like you look at, because Quinn Hughes is out till after the Leafs game on Saturday, and you look at what this roster looked like. I mean, they held their own after getting shelled 5-0. Like, again, you blinked and that game was out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
And yet,
typical Barry Trotz team, eh?
Yeah,
it was just tough to play against.
Oh man, and it was fun. Like, I enjoyed. I'm sitting there thinking, that what if they come back? Like, it's possible. And they don't have Quinn Hughes, and guys like Burrows and Hunt were stepping up. I think Podkolzin had a really big game. Seemed like a lot of their depth players really brought themselves into the fold. And I think everybody just had an absolute just sleeper of a first period. But I mean, even then, you know, they did score a goal. They did get one. Luke Schenn scored tonight, which is awesome. Like, what's Luke Schenn doing? Like, that guy needs to finish his career in Vancouver now.
Yeah, guys, he's skating around with big dick energy right now.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I don't know. It's just such an interesting team right now. And JT Miller is absolutely going off. Speaking of JT Miller, let's roll the clip, folks. Let's roll the damn clip.
Larson with the Coyotes changing. He's got some time and leaves the puck for JT Miller. Miller through center. Over the Coyote blue line. Gets through. Scores!
Disgusting. Absolutely, like, just disgusting. That goal, I mean, that was Connor McDavid-esque. It was.
It's different.
I'm saying it. It counts. You can't.
Connor just hits a little different.
I want Connor McDavid. We have Connor McDavid at home.
It's just the second you said that,
yeah,
I instantly had flashes of Connor McDavid doing that, and he just looked faster.
He did look faster.
But without that, if it was Connor, he would have just went wide on the guy, no problem. But Miller doesn't have that kind of speed, so he's got to get creative. So he makes the power move on the defender and then puts the puck between his legs before retrieving it and then going wide on the goaltender. That was just ridiculous.
So speed is a difference. So it's like eating pizza. If it's hot pizza, it's really good. But if it's cold pizza, like, yeah, it's pizza, but it doesn't taste the same. So temperature or speed was the deciding factor for you on this one.
Yeah. Why did the hipster burn his mouth? Because he wanted to eat pizza before it was cool.
Oh, jeez. First and foremost, I want to get as I said in the intro, I'm going to be referencing that intro for a while.
That was great.
Wendy's spicy chicken. I went again and I tweeted them and they liked my tweet. They've definitely changed the recipe. I've had it like 4 times in the last 7-8 days, which is probably not good for my bank account, and we don't need to talk about that. But they've definitely changed it. It is spicier. Good on you, Wendy's.
Is it spicier? I don't know.
It is.
Which Wendy's did you stop at? You stopped at the one by Orchard Park?
I've done that one. I did the one on the west side on like Monday or Friday. I don't remember.
I think me and you have different spice tolerances. Maybe this is where that's coming from.
I'm not saying that this is like a beef vindaloo or something like that, but it's as far as ranking it as a chicken sandwich and adding spice to it. This isn't like McDonald's spice. You're like, oh, we got this big campaign out, and you're like, yeah, it's a sauce, it's fine. Like it does. Wendy's, like, they're consistent. Like, it's on the menu. We don't need to brag about it. Sometimes we will, but something changed, and they didn't even talk about it. So I'm here to champion this cause. I am. I'm just saying. So you brought up that cool hipster joke, and I follow. Yeah, it was cool. It's hot. I follow on Instagram dad jokes, and there was one. I spend like a good 10 minutes a day just going through older ones, and so there's one. This one might be my new favorite. I was really struggling to get my wife's attention, so I sat down on the sofa and looked comfortable. That did the trick. To all the people that are married out there, men, I would say this is a men only thing, because I mean, women get stuff done. So we sit down, like, men sit down. Clearly, we don't have anything to do, so it just seems like it's a stereotype. We sit down and that's what happens.
Yeah, because speaking of women getting stuff done.
Oh, perfect segue.
Yeah.
Knock it out of the park. Go for it.
Canucks, they're going with Cami Granato, AGM.
They have, wait for it. 2 AGMs.
Amazing.
And they're both women.
It's so cool, man. I'm so stoked about it. It's going to be such a fresh perspective, I think, and I'm just stoked for that. Especially for how stagnant it's been.
And they've got Rachel Dory, and they've got Emily Castonguay, Cami Granato. I feel like I'm missing someone. Like there's another person I'm missing, maybe not, but like just all these, just not. I'm not going to say outside the box, but some of it, like
unfortunately, it is outside. It would be considered outside the box, right? I mean, it doesn't make it wrong. It's in. I mean, these women they're qualified regardless. So if
we stole her from Seattle,
if the best person for the job wins the day, then that's all we're looking for.
Exactly.
I don't really care. That's like people talking about this roster there. You get so bent out of shape about the fact that some players we really like are going to have to leave this roster. But if I care about the winning roster, that's what I care about.
I care about the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who's here. Right? Mm-hmm. It matters, obviously, if they bring in, Tom Wilson and Brad Marchand and Anthony DeAngelo, and we win the cup. I might have some issues with that. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah, that's
not what we're talking about. Where you become endeared to the players that win.
You can't help it. And you know what? I was thinking about this today or yesterday, and like we get so tied to the roster, and we just love, like, there's no one better than Brock Besser, or there's no one better than JT Miller or Todd Bertuzzi or the Sedins or Naslin, or like all these guys. Like, we just feel like they're going to be lifers and they'll never leave, and they will have consistent output and everything will be great and we'll win the Stanley Cup. And we keep thinking this. Well, we haven't won the Stanley Cup. The Canucks haven't won it. And now they're taking a different approach for probably third time. I mean, Pat Quinn and Brian Burke had a pretty good little run, their first little get-go with, going after Bure when they had scribbles on like a ledger, like, oh no, he's played the proper 10 games, and like all these little things. And then going after the Sedins obviously was a big deal. And then after that whole segment ended, then we get Mike Gillis, and that first day, well, I don't know if the Sedins are the guys to lead this team. And then he goes and gets a sleep doctor, and they redo the dressing room and flight schedules and all these things. And that was a big deal. They're the first people, they're like at the NHL's headquarters the day that the schedule, is open for editing. And they're there, and they're the only ones, and everyone's complaining.
Yeah, they're in there chiseling.
It's great
proactively for a better schedule. Like they made Vancouver a desirable place to play.
Yeah. And now you've got Cami Granato, you've got Emily Castonguay, you've got Patrick Alvin, you've got Jim Rutherford. All these people have won. They've won things. And they've won big things. They've won, whether it's a Stanley Cup.
Cami Granato's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, Hall of Famer. So is Rutherford.
No big deal.
No, MBD. Things are finally changing, and there's going to be changes that we're probably not going to like, and they're probably going to be uncomfortable.
Think about what this fan base has endured with this team over the past 8 years, and what could possibly happen that's going to be super uncomfortable, that this team is not going to, that we're not going to like.
There's going to be a couple things. So either they are all in on JT Miller and they re-sign him and all that jazz, or they actually use a massive trade chip that they can get in a pretty decent haul for, and they use that to their advantage to, I believe it's called build the future, to actually give this team a fighting chance at being a contender. They've also got, I love them to pieces. They've got a guy like Brock Besser, and it would crush me to see him gone. However, Brock Besser also holds a lot of value on the open market, whatever that looks like. Like, he can score. Is he going to be the greatest winger that the Canucks have ever seen? I'm sorry, he's not.
I'm gonna flip it on Besser a little bit, and I'm a Besser fan. You know that. I've supported Besser for the long. I've liked how much his game has grown when his shot wasn't working, how good he looks defensively.
Absolutely.
He's not even a 30 goal scorer.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's
Marty Jelena had better offensive seasons than Brock Besser did.
Anson Carter did.
Anson Carter.
Sorry, folks.
So it's not the puck doesn't stop with Brock Besser, and I like Besser. I don't really want to see him go. But if these guys are going, and we're talking about being pissed off about it, it means that good things are probably coming back, right? If this management shits the bed and they trade Besser and you get a second back, then be pissed.
Yeah, but
we can only assume that this management group is going to make good decisions when it comes to giving either ammunition to restock the cupboards, or restock the cupboards with with incoming prospects, because past Rathbone, there isn't any.
There's nothing.
There is guys, obviously, that are fun to watch, and
but we don't have game
could,
changers. We don't have future guys that are going to be.
There's no guarantees. I mean, the
Mhm.
best prospect is Rathbone. He's not on this roster right now. You could argue that he should be on this roster,
Right.
but I mean,
You mean after his goal and 4 assists?
who are we looking at here? We're looking at third round draft picks that are. There's nothing. Everybody's graduated now.
You're hoping for Victor Person to blow up. Like you're hoping for the guys that are 4 years away to absolutely hit. The problem is 4 years is a long time, and we need to start hitting in 2.
Yeah,
so you need change. And I'm not one of these people that, like, I hate hearing how, well, he's 28 or 29 and blah, 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 statistical, prime, this, that, and the other. But I mean, at 31, they're not going to be any better. And at some point, like, there has to be a turnover. And I mean,
you're talking about a 2-year window.
And that's just to get competitive. They're not saying they're going to win the cup, but it's either we are massively competitive in 2 years, and hopefully things are happening in that time, or again, we're right back where we were. We're Edmonton, basically.
Yeah, because we're talking about guys like Daniela Klimovich or Jet Wu coming in to save. That's guys. Those are nice lottery tickets to have, and maybe they pan out as NHLers, but that's not what we're. That's not what we're. No, guys.
And you like the person. You like the person. Like, you go back to Brock Besser, you go to Miller. We like these people because there's they're good guys. There's character.
We watched them grow up in the system, but there's nobody even as good as Brock coming up.
But look how many
we just talked about the fact that Brock isn't a 30 goal scorer. He's still a very, very good NHLer, but there's not even anybody who you could feasibly see come in and fill Brock's shoes. And we're looking at a guy like Puck Holzen, who is arguably our best prospect.
Mm-hmm.
He's a full-time NHLer.
Yeah.
And there's no way we could expect him to fill that role. Maybe one day.
But why are the Canucks so special? Like, why is this team? Why is our fan base always felt like they are like the creme de la creme of NHL franchises, and no one can penetrate our stronghold of amazing prospects and talent and all-stars? Do you know how many teams trade away star players? All of them.
This has to be. I think you and I go through this all the time in fantasy football, right? Where you value your own roster.
You think it's the best.
Higher than the incoming trade, especially at the start of the season, right?
Like, oh, yeah.
So I think Vancouver fans, and I'm just going to guess because I'm not a fan of other teams, but I think Vancouver fans in general value their players high because they're attached to them, right? I mean,
yeah. But there's how many of these guys, move on? Lots of them. Mm-hmm. Marc-Andre Fleury, everyone, he was, loved in Pittsburgh.
I bet you they'd like to have Fleury back the last couple seasons.
Yeah, but
not that, I mean, Tristan Jarry's an all-star, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like, you get rid of Marc-Andre Fleury, your Stanley Cup. The guy won a Stanley Cup,
mm-hmm.
and they watched him from nothing. They watched him from, this is the team, man. You just got to stay. Like, mm-hmm. Things are bad right now. They had Crosby and Malkin. Things were looking really bad. Eventually, they won, and it took some time. But I mean, that's one example. You can go to. I'm not going to use Arizona, but
I'm just going to I'll throw this out as a quick example of walking away from a very good player, and making way for the incumbent. And not everybody was down with Thatcher Demko taking over for Markstrom. People wanted the Canucks to re-sign Markstrom, and were upset that they didn't sign him at the value that Calgary got him at.
Right.
Fast forward a year and a half later.
I mean, Markstrom's killing it, but
Markstrom's great, but we're looking at an all-star in Demko.
You have a lot longer timeline with Demko than you do Markstrom. And again, we knew what we had in Markstrom, and I think that would have been, had they kept him, I mean...
Would have been a mistake. It just would have been.
It would have been. He still would have
ultimately.
He still would have been doing some amazing things. But moving on from Demko, you would have thought, oh man, like, we probably could have just had him and parted ways with Markstrom.
It's all timeline, mate. I mean, that's why I won't say the fan base, but I'd say a specific group of people, myself, are annoyed with the fact that we wasted Quinn Hughes, Elias Pettersson's rookie contract years.
Yep.
Along with JT Miller's prime years.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not going to bring up the other guy who's rumored to be going to Calgary. There are TT, Mr. Toff, former Vancouver Canuck, Montreal Canadian, rumored to go to Calgary. Like that was a steal.
Mm-hmm.
They got him, and that made way too much sense. And again, that's all in the past, and we can't dive too much.
You got to Rafiki that one.
Yeah.
It's in the past.
But it is like those are things that hurt, and now they have to move on, and they have to be able to figure out what is that next step, what is the new game plan. And Jason Botchford was the man that basically coined the wait a sec guy. Well, now they have wait a sec girls, and you know who 9 times out of 10 is probably the right person to be in a position like that? It would be a woman, and they've got 2 of them. They've got ones. Listen, maybe that's not the best. You've got 2 of those people instead of what we used to have, nothing. And they just made moves like, oh, well, let's trade for Goodbranson. You know what? Let's sign him again. Let's do Spiza. There's some bad stuff that happened. There's some bad decisions.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
now
we did hire the GM that traded for Goodbranson. So I'm being positive here and hoping that we're going to be making better decisions than the incumbent.
Yeah. So, but you get what I mean.
Oh yeah. It's just funny that you brought up
that was literally the guy. Literally the guy.
Yeah. I mean, he's just so handsome though.
He is. I will be inserting this in a second. So here comes an ad read. Anyway, I'll do all the editing on that. The live, we get to have fun.
Yeah, I don't think you have to tell people that you edit after though.
I can edit that out too. I can do whatever I want.
Fair enough.
I can do whatever I want. I was trying.
Can you put a subscribe here link right above my finger?
I could do that. That's gonna be tough. I got to figure out where that needs. How that.
You're the one that's claiming you do magic, so
that's true. That's true. I was trying to figure out a way to say that the Coyotes had like one of those players that they let go, but they're letting go of a lot of stuff, and they're letting go of an arena deal. They're letting go of a lot of stuff. They are apparently for sure playing at ASU next season whenever that arena is done. It's 5,000 seats. 5,000 seats, which is Prospera Place, basically.
It's smaller.
But smaller. And there's a chance that they won't even sell that out. So here's the thing. Kelowna's got a great hockey market. And if you're going to be playing in front of 5,000 fans, I guarantee you we'll sell it at an NHL barn in Kelowna.
We sell it at a WHL barn.
Yeah. It's we're kind of a big deal here. So if it doesn't work out in a major market like Phoenix, Arizona, Gary, you've got some problems. And at some point, you just have to say, you know what? It's just not working. And we've said this so many times.
Does Gary just not have problems anyways? Like,
there's got to be more to this. There has to be more to this. They're
working so hard. They're working so damn hard for Arizona, left, right, and center, which seems like every 5 years they work hard for Arizona. They work hard when it was Phoenix.
Why?
They work hard to make the move. They supplement. I don't recall anybody working this hard to keep Quebec or Winnipeg.
There's got to be some kind of like backdoor shady deal going on, because it doesn't make sense that they have fought this hard for this long. I mean, Atlanta, we found out things were bad in Atlanta. The Jets were in Winnipeg like that summer. It was done. It was done. Yeah. They already had a draft with Winnipeg. We don't know what you're called yet.
Mm-hmm.
In like months.
Yeah, remember when they tried to name it something different than the Jets, and then like the city revolted.
Like it. How does it go on this long? And I know that Arizona and Phoenix and all that, I know it's a big market. We all get that.
It's a big market
that doesn't
for hockey.
I mean, there's fans there, and that's the unfortunate. There are real fans.
Arizona State University is one of like the high-end universities,
but
sports programs, and they have a 5,000 seat arena. I'm just going to guess that that's not huge, and I'm going to guess that the Michigans and the Ohio States and
Oh, it's shaking tonight at ASU. No, it's not.
Notre Dame. I'm going to guess that they all have bigger arenas than that. It's
So
not a hockey market.
You're not saying ASU is going to get the big outdoor game? No.
So you're saying there's a chance?
It just feels like there is something there that, I mean, you're paying into basically like a rental program. Like the NHL, all the other franchises are paying into this program to keep them. I just don't get
why must just make them seethe.
Well, this apparently does. They've talked to a few GMs and owners. So they're like, why are we keeping this afloat? I don't get it. I really don't. And no one does. But that it goes on this long where they've already had an expansion franchise in Seattle, right? You've had relocation of the Jets a while ago. Vegas has come in. Like all of these other markets have come in, and you're still making something. You're trying to make something work, and it just doesn't.
It just cheapens it. It cheapens the whole thing. Why did pro sports franchises take so long to figure it out that it would work in Las Vegas?
Because they don't want to admit, that it would work in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
I don't know. Well, a lot of it was gambling. I know that was a big reason, and I know the NBA is trying to make it happen, but a lot of it was to do with gambling and how it was legalized. I don't know what that was.
Olympic bronze and airplane combined. Alpine.
Oh, in airplane? I'm like,
airplane. Whoa. Jack Crawford, Olympic bronze medal, Alpine. There you go. You're getting up-to-date stuff here, people.
This is how it works on the PP1 podcast. We don't just bring you stale, mediocre Canucks takes. We're going to bring you up-to-date Olympic coverage as well via notifications. So, I don't know. I just don't. The whole Arizona thing.
When I think about Arizona and their arena situation, I just like, meh.
It makes me shake my head. So we're going to get into two things because it was a good week for hockey. First and foremost, we've got a debate, and you and I are going to figure this out. So first, we're going to show this one.
Still leading, though, by 2. Bedard to bring him up for Regina. 1-on-2, step by the defenseman to the net. The deke, and he scores! Oh, my! Does it get any better than that? Connor Bedard puts on a show. He finds the back of the cage. Building buzzing on the road. Regina back in this thing. Trail it 2-1. Oh, my.
Need a thesaurus to describe a lot of these plays, Brad. An ankle breaker on Sutter comes in, and he shoots the puck with a stick through the legs, and it goes.
Nasty.
Ooh.
Got to love the broadcast, too. Small town.
Oh, that was a nice
That was pretty great.
Oh my, it was so nice. I don't know what to say or how to be excited.
So there's the guy. There's the guy going first overall next season. This is the guy that's probably going to win Rookie of the Year this season.
He's trying to work the judges a little bit too. He's right over and he's like, what are you guys giving me? Just a little kid. He's just a kid having fun that loves the game still. I know there's been a lot of debate about his skill set and some of the things he's tried to pull off, but you look at the smile on his face right now. This kid just loves hockey.
That is unbelievable.
Well, and so how many kids for the next couple of weeks are going to be trying that on the backyard?
Folks, what the heck was that?
It was ridiculous.
So, the Bedard goal itself that's in game, and I've been talking about him since last season, telling you guys about him. Like you got to watch.
He just showed up on everybody's radar. Nobody'd heard of him.
And yeah, he's out in Regina, and I keep looking like, when does Kelowna get him? So they don't get him this season, unfortunately. Like I said, a coworker of mine, her nephew's playing with him, and after that goal happened, and she goes, "Oh yeah, he was on the bench watching that." Imagine how excited he was. Like imagine getting to see that kid, and he's going to be one of those great players. Imagine just riding shotgun on that, or just being the next lineup and watching. Like, man, I don't mind not playing tonight.
It's kind of like Sid, right? I mean. There was so much hype around Sid when he was playing in Rimouski, and then you would watch games and you would see him do things that you're like, oh, geez. And that was one of those moments with Bedard. Like,
yeah,
you're right. In game, the ability to just burn defender and then go in and then have the calmness
Right.
and the poise to deliver ye old Merrick Malik between the legs.
And that's
goes top corner. And it just looks so easy for him.
After he did everything else. Still
Yeah.
pulls that off.
Yeah.
Now, Zegras, I mean, he's doing some stuff. Like he's already done the Michigan twice this season.
He did the Michigan flip, like he
and then
went like he was going to go. Yeah.
So he's been all over the place, and I don't think you're not going to see that in a shootout. I mean,
why not?
Maybe he does. If
we've seen that before, like we've seen the players do the lacrosse style, like blade hook, right? And then, but it was the fact that he let go with one hand, spun around, and then flipped it the other direction, just using gravity to hold the puck to the stick. Like it looked like it was glued.
Now everyone,
and then he scored, and then he was also blindfolded.
So, full disclosure on the whole blindfolded thing. When I won this beautiful Danby fridge that I'm looking at right now, sometimes the materials they use aren't exactly blackout.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can see things, and maybe sometimes you see a fridge when you're not supposed to be.
You know what, Ryan? I'm just going to throw this out there that I agree it's possible he could have seen a little bit through his, but players complain about having their vision obstructed by visors.
And he's like, screw it, I'm going to score a highlight reel goal.
I mean, if his vision was obstructed by 50%, it's still mega impressive.
You forgot to mention that dodgeballs were coming across.
That too. There was also, I mean, mascots suck at dodgeball, but whatever. Huge heads, easy to hit.
They could have been digital dodgeballs, but I don't think they were. They were. So
LaFleur would have been proud.
He would have been, yeah. Who do you got? You got to pick one. You going in game, or you going just at bonkersness?
I'll always take in game.
In game, okay.
Yeah, just because it's harder to do, right? I mean, that's why you don't see Reggie Miller dunk. Right. Reggie Miller could dunk, but dunking in a game was way harder.
That's true. I'm gonna go to make this interesting. I am gonna go in the All-Star game because he did something that I could never do, nor could I do it in a video game because I've been trying on the stupid NHL game. And I'm sorry, but like L2 and R2 and like the stick and then shifting backwards, I can't do all those buttons. And
it's like trying to walk with a skip, take a shit, and chew gum all at once. It's too much.
Exactly. Much. And he's doing is like, I could do it in real life. I don't need a controller. I'll just do it in real life.
Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying. I think my thing with the Zegras, not the Zegras thing, because it was great. It's all great. It's 1A and 1B.
Yeah.
I think what happened was it happened organically.
Sure.
On the Bedard play. I mean, he doesn't. I mean, he does practice that it happens, just like Mike Legg told us he practiced doing the Michigan,
right,
over and over and over and over and over again. But the opportunity has to present itself in real time. You have to make a smack decision and then do it. That's hard to do.
I mean, Connor McDavid's been doing it for a while. Austin Matthews is another guy. We don't like their teams, but when I see Austin Matthews or Connor McDavid with the puck, I know something.
You're paying attention.
You have to. And even Draisaitl, he's like the next tier, but he's like literally trying to break the glass ceiling of that next tier. Because when he's got the puck, I mean, he's just an assassin with the puck. Like it's gonna come off hard off the stick.
And that's all live in game, right? I mean, no, like you and I are playing flag football. I always want to hurdle you. But I can never do it because I can never take I could have hurdled him there if I go think back about it.
Yeah. Could have. Probably.
Should have, would have.
Someone else did.
Because I couldn't do it in real time.
I need the sticky gloves. That's probably why. I could catch it or something like that. That's how I can succeed in flag football is the sticky gloves. That's how I'm going to get ahead in life. Yeah. I think that's what they need in like the Pro Bowl, like the skills. Or
we talked about that on on Thanos podcast, right? Like what was the better catch, the David Tyree or the Odell Beckham?
Yeah. And it's Beckham has to be.
It was Tyree.
Oh, because he used his helmet? Mm.
Yeah, he used his helmet. It was in the Super Bowl.
In the gum.
Yeah, but he had the tarred fingers.
I can't agree with you on that. Speaking of, you know what, because we've got our football show, but we haven't done it in a little while. Let's do it. Two things. First and foremost, who is winning the Super Bowl? Ted Wong.
I can't.
But you have.
I can't.
You do
pick the Bengals. I can't.
Oh, it's the division thing, isn't it?
And it's all about the division. And hey, look, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow could end up being an all-time connection duo. And that's saying a lot coming from Cincinnati, knowing about Palmer and Ochocinco. I mean, that was a connection.
They were nuts. And they had TJ Houshmandzili too.
TJ Houshmandzili. I mean, that was arguably a better Rudy Johnson. That was arguably a better, one of the best duos in the history of the game for a period of time. One that never won anything. Thank goodness.
Nope. They were close, and then he broke his leg.
Yeah, and then I just can't. I want to see this all-time season from Cooper Kupp realized. I want to see Matt Stafford do something after just wasting away in Detroit and being a good quarterback for years and being like that veteran guy. Because I think Stafford's a really good QB. And I think they're just an interesting offense all around. And I even OBJ, I mean, I think it would be good to see him do something special out there, right? I mean,
pay attention before you go to any Super Bowl party. Pay attention to a lot of the pregame. His cleat setup. Went to the shoe surgeon. Anybody that is a sneakerhead who knows who the shoe surgeon is that works with Nike stuff. This guy does like one-offs, and they're all just like the drip.
They're all good.
Like, you want every pair. I don't care if you hate that player or hate that team. That would be the one. Like, I'm sorry, man. You would want that pair. If it was, you just
did SpongeBob ones a couple of years back, and I thought even those were dope.
Yeah, the shoe surgeon is he's unbelievable. I wish I could have access to him. So anyway,
so I'm gonna pick Rams because I just can't. Rams. I can't have Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Baltimore winning Super Bowls. Just can't. I can't do it.
I mean,
Steve would agree with me.
He would.
Yeah.
He would. Yeah. So I got to have my picks in. I'm the commissioner of our work pick'em league. So I've made a wrinkle because my dad was
the world's okayest commissioner.
Yeah, my dad was about to run away with it. So everyone's like, "You can't just let him win. We got to make it interesting." I'm like, all right, you got to pick the Gatorade color, you got to pick the score, and you got to pick the winner. And the winner's worth 2.
Did you guys not do anthem time over under?
That's all the extra stuff.
Oh, that's the big one for us.
There's just too many things to go over, and I mean, I have work to do. Believe it or not, like I do have a living to earn.
There's always a guy at the Super Bowl party that does he just stands up like a minute before coin flip, and he says, "I've got $200 on heads. Anybody else who wants in on this, put down $5." So you're pitting $5 on tails, essentially.
Yeah.
And he'll just clean up. Like he's lost in years, but he's been right a couple of years in a row.
Hey, for an extra
it's tails, and also he just walks around the table, just collects $5 bills from people.
Yeah.
It's pretty smart.
That's good. Yeah. That's clever. So yeah. I'm going to take the Bengals. Now, this isn't just to be different than you. There's just something about...
very different. Yeah.
We are. But there's something about this team that you should count them out. And they've been counted out multiple times this season, in the regular season and in the playoffs. And however it's happened, and it's not even like Cinderella run stuff. They're actually a good football team.
I fucking hate that you're right.
And I am. I am.
I hate that you're right.
And it's not like they're fluking out either. Like
it's going to be like Uzama, Super Bowl MVP, 3 touchdowns or something like that.
It's something stupid.
Something dumb.
He's the new Mecole Hardman, basically. Like it drives me absolutely crazy how good this combo is, because Jamar Chase could absolutely eat. Now, it is the Super Bowl, and it's pretty rare where a guy like absolutely goes off for like fantasy numbers in a Super Bowl. It is pretty rare. You don't see too much of that. Like you don't see a guy go off for multiple TDs unless they're like 1 yard dash or something. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Or a quarterback throwing like 500 yards. Like, it's pretty rare where you just see like an absolute like scoreboard breaker. So I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I do think they've got enough talent on the offensive side to make a game of it. And I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way. I think it's probably, I mean, realistically, I think both teams could hold each other to a touchdown to end the game. Like, it could be last team that scores wins kind of thing, or holds off on one final drive. So I am going to take the Bengals. And my other question will be, because I have to stay home and watch it, because we're
you're doing the right thing.
We're not in protocol, but
you got the girls' tournament coming up. You got to make sure you get there.
We got that. Provincials are getting close, and we're just trying to keep
you
people around us.
You and Chris are going door frame shopping, I think, too. And that's the store. The store will be least busy at that time.
Yeah, that's true. That's. I mean, it sucks, but we're now in a competitive household, and we need to limit our exposure as much as possible, and that's what I'm doing, and I'm okay with that. I got a nice big TV to watch the Super Bowl, and I've allowed myself to buy snacks. So, Ted, if you had to stay home this year to watch the Super Bowl, because I know you're not, and I am very envious of all the food you'll get to eat at staff pricing. But if you had to pick, like, what would be like your 2 snacks for Super Bowl? Like, if you're at home and like calories don't count on Super Bowl Sunday, what are your 2 snacks that you're like, I will eat enough of this that I'm going to feel guilty about all my life decisions for the next 5 hours?
Can we do like a cooked snack and a dry snack, or should I just do like 2 cooked snacks?
You pick whatever you feel would put you in a place where like you've cheated on yourself, like you feel ashamed of what you've just done. Because I know you have that place, and you're a pretty fit dude, but I know like you have a spot you're like, I'm willing to go here.
I think I'd probably go, I want to say wings, but I also want to say bottomless carnitas.
Oh.
So I think I'm going to, I'm going to pick the carnitas, bottomless carnitas with the baked pulled pork and the fresh jalapenos and the pickled onions and
go on
and the cilantro, and you top it all onto little tiny mini tacos, and you just crush those. Like,
you just
my mouth is watering. I'm having a hard time talking. So it would just be like the warmed plate of stuff just available for you to just sit there and stack carnitas all game. So that'd be number 1.
Okay.
Number 2 would be Beecher's baked bacon mac and cheese.
What?
Yeah. Have you ever had this?
Beecher's.
Have you gone to Seattle?
I have.
And you go to the market, like Fisherman's.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And there's like Beecher's cheeses there.
Okay.
They have all these curds and stuff like that, but you can get that cheese, and they make a baked, like a Beecher's mac and cheese.
Really?
And it's like, I don't even know all the different kinds of cheeses that are in it, but start eating a lot of
different cheeses.
Yeah, and because the market is like they try to incorporate everybody else. You can go like, get your wine from this place and grab your beer from here, and then walk over to Beecher's and get your mac and cheese. And before you do that, you go over to the truffle oil shop and you make sure you sprinkle some of that on there, and then you're good to go. Beecher's mac and cheese. I'll make sure to get you the recipe, and we'll post it on here. You can probably get it direct from the website.
Okay, now you got me interested because now I'm not good at like.
But I had bacon. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get Christine on that because I don't want to do it. I would rather be done properly because I'll follow the instructions like 90 times, so it'll take 2 hours to make. Whereas a functioning human being like my wife will have it done in an appropriate amount of time. So those are 2 great ones. Those are.
I can't wait to hear what you got.
I'm gonna go because I'm not gonna be at said party, and I'm not gonna mention where. That's perfect. So I'm going to keep this on my screen. I am going to go homemade. So we usually do this every year for at least one like sit at home and have whatever. So we do our homemade pachos.
I'm definitely going to have those on
Sunday. So your lattice fries, if you will. And Savon's actually got some good ones. We always try to find them on sale because they are expensive. And I got a family of 4 to feed.
And if you don't know what lattice fries are, first off, shame on you. Second off, please look them up.
Basically, the grid. you get the grid. So we'll do like a full pan of those, and then you absolutely have to have your cheese on it. We do like the green onions. It's tough to get meat on there. Like we'll try to do like a ground turkey or ground beef on there without like soggying up so there's a way to do it.
Correct, like you crushed and chopped bacon.
Well, we've been, like I said, we do like either a ground beef or turkey. We've never really done the bacon part.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you can make them how you want. They're never awful. So the first year that we did it, we're like, oh, just put the meat on there. Yeah, those things were so soggy. So we learned our lesson.
It's like with nachos, right?
Yeah, like, why are these? Oh, because that's why. When you make tacos, folks, yeah, that's why you drain everything and blah, blah, blah. So we do that. So
do you have the Emerald Isle recipe?
We do have that.
You probably should explain what that is too.
So Kelly O'Brien's has, anyone in British Columbia, the lower half. Actually, I think there's one up in Prince George too. So it's a
Jeez, those poor guys.
It's a franchise. People got to make money. It's basically, it's a honey mustard type sauce. And again, another thing you can get on the internet. Maybe we just need to have like a list of these things. You can make it. There is a recipe on how to make this honey mustard sauce, and you can drink it pretty much. You shouldn't, but you can. We usually will buy Mississippi sauce, which is also a staple. It is made in Sycamoose, I think. And that is a great honey mustard sauce to use if you're not doing the Emerald Isle. So basically, homemade pachos, that's the first one. How you do your meat and everything doesn't really matter, but we make a full tray of that, and usually I'm absolutely stuffed after that, so it is kind of tough to bring wings into the fold. But the other one would be, I think, because like Super Bowl's like 4 hours long. Like it is a marathon.
It's a day. It's a full event, yeah.
Like if you're going to be eating all day, like, again, usually you're just bloated by the end of the day. So chicken wings, they're like a staple. I'm not even going to include those. I'll just assume that everyone picks chicken wings. The other one, basically, we do like the meat and cheese platter. So basically, like your typical, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Like what are you talking about? Like cilantro, like salami.
Like,
you're looking for charcuterie board.
Charcuterie board. There we go.
Yeah.
So basically, we just do like a hyped up version of that. Next, excellent. So we've got the Emerald Isle. We're gonna post these. So basically, we do those. I'm not saying that it's like a must, but it keeps you going. Usually we've got like some of the oils and stuff that we'll use, but usually you can have a bigger thing, more types of cheese. So I'm not doing the mac and cheese, but I'm doing the cheese. And it got some meats, and you get the crackers and you stack them, and this, that, and the other. Get some brie in there, a little bit of Gouda, maybe something else. You know, sometimes you get that really old aged cheddar. It's got that saltiness to it.
Yeah, like
when
I was little, I called it like the stinky foot cheese, but I love it now.
Yeah. So you get a little freaky, and you eat a bunch of that, and you get bunged
like dates and stuff on there, and figs and things like that.
No.
I'm not, the fruit thing isn't my thing, but some people love that stuff, eh?
Not
Sometimes the spicy jams. I like the spicy jams.
I could do that. So those would probably be the main ones. And because we still have a bunch of scallops left, bacon wrapped scallops.
Oh, a bonus.
I'm just throwing that in there because I got leftovers still from Christmas. So those are just throw in because I still have some. So we've actually had to buy bacon twice to use these all. So they're delicious. They are worth, oh man, they're worth like the 20 minutes it takes to make and the 2 minutes to eat them. It's a real buzzkill, but they're always worth it. And make sure you've got cocktail sauce for that.
We'll have to get together next year. We'll get you in.
Next year back to normal, hopefully. So two final things. So we've gone over the hockey, we've gone over the goals, we've gone over the cool intro video. Two things. Luke Shen, apparently
swinging big dig energy there.
Yeah. He's an absolute piss missile. I hope he does not get traded to the rumored Toronto Maple Leafs because he's found a home. Just stay home. You got a house in Kelowna. You don't need to go any further than that.
Well, it's not really his choice.
It should be. Does he have an NMC?
No, but I would foresee it to be difficult for them to want to move him now, especially in light of what's gone on with Tucker Poole, and now he's out with headaches and dizziness and all that sort of stuff, being placed on IR.
Yeah.
So seeing how he essentially stole that spot, and there's not a rugged third pairing defenseman out there. Maybe Noel Juleson. I don't know.
He's got like 3 points in 2 games.
Yeah, it might be difficult for them to trade him. Just from the team need perspective, somebody's got to be a bit of a cop, right? But a bit of a sheriff out there. It's probably Shen, even though he kind of got tooled up a little bit by that big fucker.
Shen has like almost 20 hits in 2 games.
Yeah,
like legitimately. I'm not even exaggerating.
Watching him and Burrows out there is hilarious because he just try to hit everything.
Makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. So good on you, boys. That was the one we did talk about. Jack Rathbone. He had a goal and 4 assists the other night. Quinn Hughes. That was a play on words. I don't know.
How you have to let everybody know that it's play on words too.
Well, sometimes people don't get my jokes. You don't sometimes. So, and then obviously Move Health and Wellness. Make sure you guys go check them out. They are in Kelowna, so we got to support them. Thank you very much for hopping on board with us. Any final words, sir? Have you been playing Wordle?
I have. I haven't got today's. I haven't played today's yet.
My new one launches in 20 minutes. So I'm very excited about that. I got it in 2 the other day.
2. That's
I know.
fast.
I couldn't believe it. And then I went back to 3 today. So 3 is my wheelhouse, but 2 figured maybe I win an award. But
I'm not very good at Wordle, and anybody who knows me knows that I'm not a phenomenal speller. But I plug along. I usually get it in 4 or 5. Very rarely do I go to 6.
Have you missed one yet? Like, have you got one totally wrong?
I haven't. I haven't yet. So I've been pretty fortunate there. But I will say that it took my wife 4 guesses on the last word yesterday.
Oh,
and I got it in 3.
Interesting.
So I will not let that go for a while because she is some sort of wordsmith savant when it comes to that type of stuff.
Do you cheat? Do you not cheat, like find out what the word is, but do you go and like Google 5-letter words? Oh,
no. So what I will do is I'll play for a little bit and then I'll leave it alone for like hours.
Oh,
and then I might go read a couple articles or something like that, or like read a couple pages from a book.
Yeah,
and just get your brain working with words again, and then I'll come back to it. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I don't do that. I get to a point and I just hit frustration mode like instantly. If it's not the first 2 words, then I'm like, all right, words that end in this.
words that have the letters.
I'm like, oh, all right, I guess I got to think.
Words that have letters SORC.
Force.
Attaboy.
No, it can only be one. It can
in
only
position
be...
XYZ.
Yeah, exactly. And it has to be this. Okay, sorry.
In the
final
English
thing,
language.
Final thing, because our episode was named on it. The Tyler Motte penalty yesterday.
Oh God.
How do you get that wrong?
Oh man. So
as well as today, yeah.
Yeah, my first reaction was to reach out to a good friend of ours. I'm trying not to name his name because I know he's not really into that kind of thing, and he is an actual referee at the WHL level, and it's not Pap.
No.
So I should give him that. Yeah, the other guy.
Yep.
So why don't you tell me what you think about it first, and then I'll bring up his comments on it.
Well, I mean, really, you see it because it happens in real time. You see a high stick, but at the same time, if you're paying attention, and I probably like looked down for like 2 seconds and missed it, at the very first replay, and again, the referees, they don't have the advantage of replay. They see it in real time and have to make a judgment call. That being said, I mean, they review so many things. The stick was knocked out of his hand. It did a full cyclone and hit the guy in the face, and they call a high stick. He didn't have any control whatsoever on what happened, and they called a penalty on it. They missed the call clearly.
It was a bad call. So our guy, our resident referee in house, who if this was live and we had him on the show, he'd have like the and he'd have like the fuzzed out face.
Yeah.
No penalty, no doubt, and Angle playing tricks on a zebra's eyes. Been there, done that. Shitty part is if Chychrun was bleeding, it's 4 minutes, and they would have had to have reviewed and rescinded the penalty. But since it was only a minor, they couldn't even review it.
Brutal.
I think you have to put, and we complain about this in the NFL a lot too. I think you have to put the power in the referee's hands to make the right call.
Mm-hmm.
If it's so obvious he made a mistake, let them rescind it.
You can
If
do
you're
that.
going to give him the
baseball.
ability to rescind it on a 4, rescind it on a 2.
Yeah. You can do that in baseball now. You can call back an out.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Joyce knows all about that.
Jim Joyce, I was just going to say.
So
Thanks
there
for
you
wrecking a no-no, Jim Joyce. I do know you felt bad, though.
what a press conference too after. Oh, man. I almost want to watch it again because it was so funny. Oh, boy.
I can't remember the pitcher. What was the pitcher's name that was throwing the no-no?
Angel Hernandez.
Angel?
Yeah, Angel.
He was just so...
It's okay.
He was just such a human about it. He was just so... It's fine. People make mistakes. I know that I threw a no-no. It's all right.
Yeah, I mean, we all know it happened.
I know, and he's not written into history books, but you know what? He's okay with it.
Yeah.
And everybody else was like...
You should just kill this guy.
But if Hernandez is okay with it, maybe we have to be
the
okay
one
with
guy
it too.
that it should matter the most to. Yeah, that was just absolutely brutal. Oh, it just thinking back. Sports. This has been a lot of fun. Somehow we made this work. Technical difficulties, we still got past them. And you all saw a wicked ass intro. So this has been the Phantom Motte episode of the PP1 podcast. I came up with that by myself. All right.
Yeah, there was another weird high sticking incident in this game too.
Which
was a penalty, but still weird.
Yeah, it is what it is. So if you don't have any final words, my friend, I think it's time for my bedtime. Well, I got to post this still, I guess. So lunches are made, so I'm good there. Watch a bit of Olympics. Yes, we're getting stuff done over at this house.
Oh, thanks for your login creds for the Sportsnet, by the way.
Yeah, you got to lose those soon, though, because I don't know how long I can have that many accounts.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You'll know what I talk about. Yeah. On behalf of Ted and Ryan, this is the PP1 Podcast on the Dean Blundell Network. Like and subscribe. Make sure you go to Apple Podcasts, go to Spotify, like it. Either of those. Make sure you do all that. Did we win another medal?
YouTube, MySpace,
everything.
ICQ chat.
Yeah. AOL. Please, Alta Vista. Make sure you give us some love because we would like to love you back.